Welcome back. This is Mark Devine with Mark's Daily Brief for March 30th. The other day I did a podcast with a fellow named Dov Baron, and he had a really powerful question that he asked, and I thought I'd share that with you, and we'll use that as our theme in our practice today. The question is, what's the worst thing that could happen as a result of this current situation, the COVID-19 crisis and the economic dislocation? What's the worst thing that could happen to you? And what's the best outcome that you can conceive from that worst thing? Okay, so what's the worst thing that can happen to you, and what's the best outcome that you can conceive from that worst thing? This is like a mental imagining exercise similar to what we would do in the SEAL teams, where we would have a mission plan, but then we imagined all the worst things that could possibly happen, and what's the best way to overcome those obstacles or come out of it stronger. This comes out, helps us create that fail forward fast mindset, which you need to develop right now, because the world is changing fast, and that's going to be the new normal. That's the new constant, is change and accelerating change. So we're in a VUCA time. Always ask, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the best outcome that I can conceive from that? And so that's your tip, is to journal this after we get done with this brief. Sit down and ask that question and to journal it, and we'll do a visualization too at the end. My training today is, obviously you're going to get tired of me hearing this, but 20 minutes of box breathing, 20 minutes of yoga, 20 minutes of meditation in the morning. It's part of my morning ritual, and some other somatic movement, practicing some Aikido moves and some Tai Chi. Then a run, swim, run. Okay, 2-mile run, 1-mile swim, 2-mile run. Okay, and I had to find a beach that I could do my swim on, because they closed the beaches in Encinitas, so I had to go south a little bit. At any rate, that's your training for today. If you want to join me or do your own thing, I'm just sharing that to inspire you to train every day, and also for a little bit of accountability for myself. Let's do a practice. Okay, so take your seat or stand in your relaxed stance, your meditation stance, and close your eyes, and we're going to visualize this. So breathing deeply through your nose, calming your nervous system. This is a moment to just separate from whatever crisis you have in your current reality. Now, imagine in your life, what's the worst thing that could happen as a result of this COVID-19 virus? Besides, getting deathly sick, let's not go there. The worst thing that could happen to you from a financial standpoint, or a business, or a job, or a career. What's the worst thing that could happen? And then, as you visualize that, it's kind of painful. What's the best outcome that you can imagine from that worst thing? For instance, if you lose your job, which could be a pretty traumatic thing, could you pivot and launch into a career as a life coach or a leadership coach, maybe even an Unbeatable Mind certified coach? Or if your business is collapsing, that's horrible. That's the worst thing. Can you find an opportunity to pivot to something that's even more passionate and aligned with your purpose or calling? Where's the silver lining for you? So continue at your own leisure to imagine what's the worst thing and what's the best thing that could come out of that, so you're prepared, and begin to make notes on whatever comes up and how to create an action plan, a crisis opportunity planning and execution action plan, so that you can ensure that that best outcome will happen if the worst also happens. Okay. Thank you very much for your time today. This is Mark Devine. See you next day.